guys, I'm so late tonight. It's because Miles has been so weird all day. Just like overstimulated, not listening, like wild, okay? And then normally when I have the lives, my mom will put him to bed and we just like lay with him until he goes to bed. Do you know what I mean? And it's like dead easy. And then David puts Ellis to bed. Well, tonight, of course, that will not do. He wants David to put him to bed. So I'm like, oh gosh, that means I have to put Ellis to bed. And she's normally not so bad to put to bed. But tonight, she was just like, you're clearly not who I thought you were going to be. If you know what I mean. She was a bit like, can I get the other person back? And she just would not go to sleep. Like fidgeting and rolling around. I'm like, Lord Almighty. So today what we're going to do is the whipped spiderweb stitch. So it's very much like the woven wagon wheel rose stitch. But it's the whipped spiderweb. So the first thing we're going to do is put the spokes in, just like the whipped wagon wheel, okay? For this one, I'm going to use all 6 strands. And I'm just going to go just kind of right over that line because we're going to cover it up anyways. This is all going to be filled in. So we're just doing straight stitches here. And all we're going to do is whip our thread around each one and then go to the next one and go around that one and then around and around and around and then go back down on the other side. So it kind of helps if you have, it must be really late there. No, it's 8 o'clock. So if you remember, I'm at the lake house for the summer. So it's only the Detroit time zone. How many stitches? Do you mean strands? Oopsies. Strands. It's all 6 strands for this part. And it's all 6 strands for the next part as well. And we're going to go back down like this. I know. She says, I'm in New York State. That's what I was wondering. Same. Yeah. Okay. So we've got our little like shell shape. Okay. There's kind of like 2 ways that you can do this. And I've seen it done kind of both ways. The first way is to come up really close to this line. And the other way is to draw a line that you're going to come up on. Okay. So if you wanted your shell to have more of like a round shape up here, but then also kind of a round shape on here on each side, okay, then you would draw a little, almost like you would draw a satin stitch line, do you know what I mean, where you'd come up on the curve of the line or whatever. But if you want it to have a nice straight edge, then we're just going to come up on the other side of these lines, okay, and go down on the other side of these lines. It's going to make sense, I promise, okay? I'm actually not going to use this color. I'm going to use a variegated thread that is purple, pink, and blue. So hopefully this will look really nice. And hopefully I'm doing it right, because to be honest, I haven't done this in a really long time. I haven't done this stitch in ages, because other than like shells and spider webs, I don't really know what else we could use it for. Maybe like a fence or something? Maybe a fence could be good. I don't know. So, if you're like, whoa, Tori, no. Then, like I said before, never meet your heroes, okay? Okay, so we're going to do 6 strands again, and I've got the anchor, this one. It's like a pink purple, a little bit of blue, but not really. It's like a deep purple. So I'm going to use that one. I do have quite a bit here. So let's just see what happens, and we're going to go for it. So you're going to come up on one side. I like to start on the bottom here, because then at the top you can kind of like add more stitches. But I know some people like to start at the top because they like to push it up as far as they can go. Okay, so it just depends. All right, so what we're going to do is come up on the one side like this. All right, of course, I've just had to do that. I always manage to pull those threads through because I put my knot like right next to the other knot, and then, okay. And then you're going to slide your needle underneath one of these spokes, like this. Underneath one, we're not weaving, okay? You're gonna put it underneath one of these. This just sums up my day today. It sums up my day. Okay, and you're gonna come back this way. So take your thread back this way, and you're gonna go under the second one. Oh, did I not wrap it? Did I not wrap it around? I think I need to go around the first one first. You know what I mean? I thought it went under the first one and the second one. First and the second. Maybe this is the issue. I think I forgot the first one and the first one. Yeah, I did. Okay, and then we're gonna come back this way and go under the second and the third. Shimmy that down. Okay, and then we're gonna come back here and go under the third and the fourth. Don't. Again, shimmy that down. And then the fourth and the fifth. Then the fifth and the sixth. You say so clever, but like I said, I'm probably doing it wrong. And then the next two. But you know, that's kind of what learning is, okay? You want to keep shimmying these down though, like this. And then finally the last two, like that. And I'm going to do the last one. Okay, just a little bit of that color change there. And you want to kind of lean it down like that, okay? And then once you have them in the right place, you can go back down through your fabric. This is what I meant about making the edges be like straight, or you don't want to pull too tight because you want it to have the same shape, you know? And then we're going to do the same thing all the way until this is filled. So again, a bit of a boring one for me. I mean, it's super fun, it's super cute, but you're just gonna see me like putting my thread underneath all the threads all the time. Okay, so we're gonna come up again over here. There must be a way to like wrap this first one without doing it. Maybe you go around on top first. No, because then that wouldn't make sense, because then you have to go. It's my dad burping, so that's good. I've always just done it like that, but then once I went under two, it undoes that one. You know what I mean? So I've always started it like that, but maybe I just need to do both like this. how am I doing the first one? How am I doing the first one, guys? Am I being silly here? This is literally what I did last time. You go around this one. Maybe I need to go like over the first one and under the second one, so I can get that one wrapped. Do you know what I mean? Because I did it the first time, and now I'm sitting here thinking, hold on, that's just undone my stitch. So I went over the first one, okay, and then under all the ones after that, but I'm pretty sure that's not how you do it. I don't remember that from before. So if anyone's like, yeah, you're doing it wrong, then please tell me. Because I don't remember that from the last time I stitched it. But like I said, I haven't done this in a long time. And it's fairly a simple stitch, but obviously I'm missing a beat here for my first stitch. I'll look it up later. And if it's wrong, I'll put a little amendment. It looks like it worked. I thought so too, but I just don't remember in my mind going over the first one and then under. Do you know what I mean? I remember this one being a bit fiddly because it's like the very last one and it wants to like tuck itself back under. Does that make sense? Okay, so there's that one. It looks extra pretty with the variegated floss. I think so too. But maybe I need to come up in between these. Okay, let's try like this. What if we come up in between them? Because I feel like I'm missing a beat here. I feel like I'm missing a trick. If I come up in between, okay, and then I go around this one and around this one. Just made myself cough by gasping. I think that's it, guys. I think if you come up between the first two and not do it on the edge, then you don't have to go over, and then under. See? I knew there was something. I was just like, this is not right. I'll go look it up later, and it'll be neither of those things. It'll just be that I'm doing it wrong. Oh my goodness, this is what I get. However, I've never taught this stitch before, and I remember I used to do it when I was younger. But I say when I was younger, like I'm like 60 years old now. Do you know what I mean? Like Tory shop. I remember like a long time ago I used to teach it, and it was always so pretty when it was done, but it was one of those, like, if you have been here for a minute, you know that I do not like the weaving ones very much because they're quite faffy, meaning that you have to kind of like avoid other stitches and like work your way around and stuff like that. That's what I mean by faffy, not like, I don't know what else it could mean, but it's like not just like a really easy kind of stab the fabric, make the flower, you know, do the stitch, that's it. You kind of really have to be careful with what you're doing. And any of these like weaving things, I get so worried that I'm gonna like stab what I've already done, or like pull the threads or snag them or something, that I just get a bit like, oh, because it just takes one little snag to just really mess it up, you know? So I don't normally like doing these ones very much, but perhaps I should have. That's on me, okay? Remember, keep pushing those down. This last one is especially a bit, okay? It's just wrapped around that last one. So yeah, do you guys like weaving stitches, or are you more of like a, just like, do it? I think my dad's burping again. That'll be fun on the recording for YouTube, won't it? Okay. I like the challenge. That's a really good way to look at it, though, because sometimes if I get a little bit like aggy when I'm stitching, I feel like, ugh, don't want to do that, you know? But perhaps I just need to look at it in that kind of way instead and slow down. You know? So as we get higher and higher on here, what's going to happen is these spokes are going to be really, really well defined because we're wrapping them. And behind it, you're going to get these little, just like lines of thread. You can kind of see them right here a little bit. If I zoom in, you can kind of see them in between these ones. Yeah. So you want to kind of keep pushing them down so that they become like a one full, almost like a satin stitch behind, okay? Okay. Guys, we're almost done, really. We just have to do... Oh, this way. I'm gonna lose you any minute now. My phone is almost dead. Oh, no! Get you a charger. Have a good night, you too. Enjoy. I'm very much looking forward to a glass of wine tonight, I'm not gonna lie. You know, when the kids are just like feral, and you're just like, oh my gosh, just give me a minute. That's what it was today. But it was also raining all day, and so, like, the weather wasn't nice. We didn't get to go outside, and, you know, they love being outside, so I think it was just a bit hard for them. Like, after being outside all day, every day for such a long time. Like, it hasn't rained here in ages. So, I have a feeling that they were both just, like, wanting to burn off some energy, you know? But hey-ho. So basically, as you fill these up, you'll notice that some of the spokes will be filled up before others, and you just need to move it along so that you can continue to cover these spokes up. So I made my spokes in a similar color just in case they show. But you can make them in the same color, that your shell is going to be in if you want to. Like, you definitely don't have to do them in a different color. I just did mine in a different color because I was afraid I didn't have enough thread left. Got a bit too big for my boots with that one. It's going a bit fast. Okay. Let's go on to the next one. Really try and squeeze those in though, because we really don't want to see that the spokes shining through. You know what I mean? So if you can, do another one. Even if you have to kind of squeeze it a little bit. Just to make sure you get all those spokes covered. And then we'll move on to the next one. You know, when that spoke is all filled up, we'll just move on to the next one. Okay, I reckon one more all the way, and then we'll move on to the next little set of ones. Okay? Every once in a while, you might need to let your needle hang down like I've just done. And that is so you don't get the twists in your thread, because once just your thread starts twisting, oftentimes you just feel frustrated. So something to think about if that's happening to you. Oopsies. Not me banging into every single thing that I have around here. Okay, and then I need to make this hoop a bit tighter and then go do the next ones on top there. Okay, so now we're just going to go in the middle of these ones. Let's go close to the thing in case it gets shown. So again, wrapping around here. And then the next two. And then the next two. And the first two that we have, the first one and the last one, those are all full. So we're just going to end it on this very last one. By going like this. I'm just putting it down right in front of that one. Like that. Just so that it makes sense, you know? Okay. Let's go into this one. And then we're just going to fill up the rest. I say that like I'll be done in like a second. And then I would continue doing that, this last one, until it kind of makes sense to stop, if you know what I mean. So like I'm going to put mine down here again. And maybe the next one, I'll stop there. Well, maybe. This one right here looks like it's done. Let's see if I can start one here. Just to see what that would look like if I put it through just this one. And then around. So I feel like that's what I did in the first place, or the last one. You know, in the very beginning. I reckon that one's probably almost full. Our shell is taking shape. I live this and love. You're so funny. Just gonna tuck that one in like that. Okay. And then let's go to this one now. I hope it makes like a really nice shell in the end. Like my spokes got a little wonky. It's fine. 'Tis of the sea. Okay, so again, I'm not sure if like technically you're supposed to stop them like that, but I like to do that when you have a curved top because I think it gives a nice shape to the top of the shell. On the bottom is going to be detached chain stitches, the same as over here, how these ones are shooting up. These ones down here are going to shoot down. And I'm going to do mine the same color of the spokes that I had. The most important thing though is just making sure that each of these, just thinking aloud, spokes are covered. I did 3 strands one color and 3 of another for a pop. I like the effect I'm getting. Oh, fun! That's so clever. Of course. I think this looks so fun. I actually really like it. I don't know why I haven't put this in like any other stitch along. I mean, I know why. It's because at the beginning of the video I said I don't really know what else I would do other than a spider web or maybe like a kind of fence or something. I don't know. Okay. Not so many left now. Oh, a hot air balloon could be cool. I honestly did not even think about that. I think I can get like one more here. And like one more here. And then I'll probably call it. How fun is this? That is cute. And then we'll do, you can either do the detached chain stitches down there right now. I can show you how they look. Hold on. Or we can do them later at a different date if you're like, no, I don't want to do those today. Here we go. You could do just straight stitches if you want. I'll probably do 4 strands for this because 6 strands will be quite big. So let's see about 4 or even 3. I think 3 will be best actually. I could even do it the same color as the shell if you wanted to, with that same make it look a little bit cohesive. But since you can see my color down here anyway, it kind of makes sense for me to do the same one, you know? It's gonna give that nice little like scallop edge on the bottom. But obviously if you have a different idea, like go with that idea. Like you do not have to do what I do. And then that is all. That's it. I've got one more to do. So don't go yet. There it is. How cute is that? Little seashell moment. Ugh, of course. Of course I've got a huge knot on the back. Good. All right, so that's it. That's it from me. I hope you love how it looks. And yeah, that's all. So enjoy. I'm off to download this video and put it on YouTube as immediately. I feel like I have them all. I feel like I have them all on there, and I don't want to, like, you know what I mean, lose the momentum. So there we go. I hope you've enjoyed. That is the woven spiderweb stitch. So I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.